We're going to go through and redo the problems here just on the first page in case you're having a little trouble with the two steps. So for question number 1, my equation is k divided by 6 minus 2 equals negative 5. And I'm just going to remind you, like in class, we started with these little flowcharts and we were looking at the variable, in this case is k, and seeing what operations are we doing to that variable. So on this one, the first thing I'm doing is I'm dividing it by 6. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a dividing by 6. And we talked about an inverse operation and how that kind of undoes an operation. So the inverse operation of dividing by 6 is multiplying by 6. Okay? And then the second operation that's being performed in this problem is a minus 2. So if I have a minus 2 and I want to undo that, then I've got to add 2. So those inverse operations, we're going to be using those to solve this equation. But remember, when I am solving the equation, I'm going to be using those inverse operations, but I'm going to be doing them in the reverse order. So in this case, the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding 2, okay? And then I'm going to be multiplying by 6. Now what that looks like in this problem, first step is adding 2. So we're going to work vertically down the page. So I'm going to write plus 2 and plus 2 underneath that problem. If you've got a minus 2 and a plus 2, so in our flow chart, we've learned that that is equal to 0. Those just cancel each other out. And so I'm just going to go ahead and just put a line through that because those go away. And then on the right side of my equation, I do the same thing to keep this equation in balance. And negative 5 plus 2 is going to be negative 3. So that's the first step. Now the second step is this multiplying by 6, because I have to do that to undo the dividing by 6. So in my problem, I'm going to do multiplying by 6 on the left side and multiplying by 6 on the right side. So dividing by 6 and multiplying by 6 are going to cancel each other out. And so on the left side, I'm left with just k. On the right side, I've got negative 3 times 6, which is negative 18. That's my answer. Now, for this assignment, I am wanting you to prove your solutions. So proving your solution means you take that original equation, in this case, k divided by 6 minus 2 equals negative 5. And I'm going to do that problem, but instead of using k, I'm going to replace k with the answer. So the solution to this problem is negative 18. So in my problem, I'm going to plug that in where the k is in the original problem. So this is going to become negative 18 divided by 6 instead of k divided by 6. And the rest remains the same. Minus 2 equals negative 5. And then you're just going to go through and evaluate the left side. So the first thing I would do is negative 18 divided by 6, which is negative 3. Rewrite the rest of the problem. And negative 3 minus 2, which is the same as negative 3 plus negative 2, whichever way you want to think about it, is equal to negative 5. Negative 5 equals negative 5. And because I ended up with two constants that were the same, that tells me that my answer is correct. My solution of k equals negative 18 is correct. All right, let's look at number 2. So number 2, you see, I'll do my flow chart. To the variable p, the first thing that's happening is I am multiplying by negative 2. So to undo that, I have to divide by negative 2. And then I'm minusing 7. So the opposite of that is adding 7. So to solve my equation, those are the two operations that I need to perform. Adding 7 and dividing by negative 2. So let's go ahead and do that. First step, add by 7. Both sides. That's going to leave me with negative 2p on the left side of my equation because minus 7 and plus 7 cancel each other out. On the right side of my equation, 1 plus 7 is 8. And then I move on to my second inverse operation, which is dividing by negative 2. So I'm going to divide the left side by negative 2 because negative 2 divided by negative 2 is just a positive 1. So I'm left with positive 1p. But whatever I do on one side, I've got to do on the other. And 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. So p equals negative 4 is my answer. But I'm not done with the problem because I do have to prove that that is correct. So down here, I'm going to do negative 2 times, now instead of p, I'm going to plug in that -4. I'm going to substitute that into my equation. -2 times -4 minus 7 is hopefully going to equal 1. Well, -2 times -4 is 8 minus 7. And what do you know? 8 minus 7 is equal to 1. That means I have the correct answer. All right, the last problem. N divided by 2 plus 5 equals 3. So what am I doing to my n? I'm first dividing it by 2. So to undo that, I've got to multiply by 2. And then I'm adding 5. And to undo that, I have to minus 5. So we go through. My first inverse operation is going to be minus 5. Minus 5 on the left, minus 5 on the right. Let's zoom in just a little bit here. That's going to leave me with n over 2. 5 minus 5 is 0. That just cancels out. 3 minus 5 is -2. Then I'm going to go into my second inverse operation, which is multiplying by 2. So I'm going to multiply the left side by 2, multiply the right side by 2. So the 2 multiplying by 2, dividing by 2 cancel each other out. And I'm just left with n equals, and in this problem, -2 times 2 is -4. So n equals -4 is the answer. Okay? And then we're going to prove that that's the answer by substituting that back in. So I'll take this equation down here, but instead of doing n divided by 2, I'm going to do -4 divided by 2 plus 5 equals 3, and hopefully that's going to work out. -4 divided by -2 is, by +2 is -2. And then I've got to do -2 plus 5, which is +3. 3 equals 3. That is a true statement. That tells me my answer of n equals -4 is correct.